Let's get started, everybody. Cross-legged is good, or kneeling is good. Any seat that is going to help support you and help you pay a little more attention to yourself to help you cultivate a quiet and rejuvenated place is perfect. Let your hands rest into your lap and close your eyes. We come to our yoga practice for so many reasons. And the kind of yoga practice that we choose often connects with the reason that we need our practice. Restorative yoga really has so many magical things to offer. Many of these things are around helping us to find more energy, around helping us to feel rejuvenated, when we're feeling tired, maybe just your regular run-of-the-mill tired, or maybe when we're feeling something deeper than that, on kind of all-pervasive exhaustion. This practice can be like a refuge. The breath is such an important part of this practice. Not only does the breath help us anchor and steady our mind, but the breath can help us clear out whatever unsettled things might be bubbling up. The breath in brings with it a kind of energy and life. And the breath out clears out the space, the collected things, the leftovers that are no longer useful. Position your hands, please, in contact with your body. Try one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. Allow your hands to help you feel the breath in a very tangible way. Breathe into your belly. Breathe up into your hand under your chest. And exhale completely. To me, sometimes this breath feels like a wave. Water washing and rising and then clearing back down out. There's no need to push or force at the breath. Just allow it, a kind of rhythm or pace that makes sense for you. Inhale and fill belly and chest. Exhale and clear out chest to belly. You're welcome to keep your hands here in contact with your body, especially if that feels soothing or settling. You're also welcome to release your hands back into your lap and take a few breaths without your hands on body. In either case, continue this rhythm of inhale, breath to rise, exhale to settle and clear out. What is it that you intend for yourself in this practice tonight? Are you feeling that level of tiredness, of exhaustion, a kind of fatigue? Let this place, this practice tonight, be where you rejuvenate, where you clear out those feelings of deep exhaustion, to make space for something more energizing and uplifting. Join both palms together and lift your hands in front of your heart. This gesture of intention setting is one that we use to help seal up our desires, the qualities that we hope to bring into our practice. It might just be that your intention tonight is the same as mine, to clear out some of this tired and exhausted feeling. But maybe there's some other intention, something that resonates with you personally, something that feels more meaningful to you tonight. Whatever the case may be, connect with that energy of intention here. We use the sound of Om to connect our energy, a way of putting the intentions we have into a sound. The sound itself is said to contain all of the vibrations of everything in the universe. Singing together, it lets us share our energy, but it also allows us to honor an important part of the ritual and the traditions of yoga. Everyone, please exhale your breath all the way out. Inhale deeply. Release your hands into your lap. Keep your gaze soft as you blink open your eyes. You'll need your blocks or whatever you might find that is a sturdy support, and come on up to standing. Take your blocks and put them out in front of you, about the middle of your yoga mat. And I'm going to offer you one way to set up your blocks here that's sort of the highest height. And that looks like one block on the low side and then one block sitting on top on the high side. The idea here is to start with your blocks pretty high and then lower them down if it turns out that your forward bend can accommodate a lower position for the blocks. Step your feet out wide. Go towards the outer mat's distance. It should definitely feel like a stance that you can sustain, but one where your feet are parallel to the short edges of your mat. And then be sweet about your forward bend. Fold over so that your hands can come to the floor and rest your head on the blocks. You know, sometimes in our yoga postures, we're really looking for a lot of stretch, but in restorative yoga, the game is not to find a deeply stretched out posture, but instead one that feels supportive. Now, as you're getting yourself used to this position, you might find that you need to put the block on the lower side, especially if this forward folding position comes naturally or easily to your body. You might actually find that having the block up too high will make your neck feel uncomfortable. So keep playing around with the height of the block so that you can find a place where your head rests comfortably and in a supported way, but not in a way that makes you feel like you're experiencing an intense amount of stretch in your legs. Pay attention to the way the weight is distributed on your feet. And even though we're aiming to find stillness in our postures tonight, you're never stuck. You're welcome to adjust or to adapt or to change the position of your body at any time. Play around here with the way that your head is resting on the blocks. Perhaps you started off by resting your forehead on the blocks, but as you find a more comfortable place for your head to land, play around with putting the top of your head into the support of the blocks. Much like the way that you would place your head on the floor if you were going to do a headstand, see if you can find that place for your head to land on the support of the blocks. There's absolutely a bit of pressure that you can feel between the block and the top of your head, but it shouldn't feel like it's a force or a strain to keep your body in the place that you're in. Relax any effort in your arms, especially through your shoulders. Check to make sure that you're not efforting or clenching at your feet. Relax your legs. Then come to rest mind with the breath. Breathe in deeply without force, expand breath into your back. Release each breath, and with it bring a kind of weight to your body that feels soothing and settling. Take 5 rounds of breath here. Even if you haven't quite finished your rounds of breath, bring your attention back into your body. Transfer some more of your weight or your work into your hands. Use your hands to press against the floor and slowly lift your head away from whatever it was resting on. Again, still moving slowly. Put a little bend in your knees and start to move your feet, heels towards one another, then toes towards one another, and so forth, until you can wiggle your legs in close into a close forward folded position, Uttanasana. You don't have to step your feet all the way together, but just take another breath, relaxing neck, head, and shoulders over your legs. And then everyone bend your knees. Keep your body soft, especially through your spine. Rock your weight to your heels and roll slowly upright. Be sweet about lifting your head. It was hanging over for quite a while. As you've landed in a mountain pose stance, take a full breath in. Exhale all the way out. Feel the impact of that posture you just practiced. Okay, moving slowly. Let's set up props for the next pose. You'll need your pillows or whatever props you'll be using to support your body. If your situation is like mine, where I have one pillow that's just slightly bigger than the other one, that slightly bigger pillow should go under your legs. The not so big pillow should come up under your torso or up under your shoulders. You may or may not find that you need a blanket under your head. It could be that you don't need the blanket for height, but that you do need the blanket so that your head feels soft against the floor. I'd like for you to use that second blanket that you've selected in a particular way. Okay, to come into this pose, sit on your pillows or whatever it is you're using, and take your second blanket and wrap it around your legs. So not just letting it fold over, not just letting it drape over your legs, but actually tuck the blanket in so that your legs feel very contained. If for whatever reason this doesn't feel awesome for your body, then feel free to let the blanket just drape. But what I often notice is that folks appreciating having their legs kind of contained in more tightly in this posture. Do make sure that you have some props under your heels if you're like me and your heels are falling off the ends of your blanket or your bolster. And then when you lie back on this stack of things, The edge of your pillow should come right under the edge of your shoulders so that your neck and head is free to be flat on the floor or on that other folded blanket. It's a version of an elevated kind of extended bridge pose, but it's not meant to feel super fierce. It should feel quite lovely to be lifted in this way, under chest, under mid-back, hips, and legs. And then also keep tucking the blanket in around your legs so that your lower body feels really contained and supported with the blanket. Once you get yourself organized, let your arms rest out by your sides. No need to manipulate or strain to get your arms in a particular place. And just as I mentioned before, you're not stuck. We're cultivating stillness here. But you don't have to fight yourself if the posture feels uncomfortable. Make whatever adjustments you might need. You're welcome to bend your knees if having legs out straight isn't a great position for you. As you're making any adjustments your body might require, close your eyes. Turn your attention downward and inward. Once again, find your breath with your mind's eye. Allow each breath in to nourish and support you. And allow each breath out to relax and settle you. If you find that your mind has wandered far away, bring your attention back to your breath. Notice the feeling of the breath moving in your body. And take 5 more breaths in this pose. Let go of the breath counting, even if you haven't finished your 5 breaths. To come out of this pose, start first with your legs. Bend your knees slowly, loosening the blanket as you do. Step your feet out to the sides, one to either side of your bolster or your blankets or your pillow. Let your knees fall in towards one another. And just take a breath there. Then still moving slowly, step both legs over to the left side of your pillows or your bolster. Cross your right arm over your chest and roll carefully over onto your left side. You could tuck your arm under your ear or just pull your knees and chin in towards one another. Take a breath here. Then use the support of your hands and your arms. Push your body up into a seated position. Just close your eyes as you come into your seat. A moment to feel the impact of the pose you've just practiced. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. Keeping your gaze soft. Blink open your eyes. You'll only need one of your pillows for the next pose. You can take the pillow you won't be using and just put it off to the side. Some of you might find that you actually want that second pillow for under your head. You'll see what I mean in a moment. Take the pillow that you are going to use and turn it so that it's running perpendicular to the long edge of your mat. The opposite way of what it had just been doing. And then if you had a head blanket, you just want to fold that over one time, or if you hadn't had a head blanket before, fold it over and give yourself some height for where your head will go for this side lying posture. You might find that that head blanket needs to be higher than you think because you want it to be up high enough that it can accommodate your shoulder against the floor. I like using a block and a blanket together. Like I said, that could be where you put your second blanket, or your second pillow, so you can play around with the props you're going to use. To come into this pose, sit with your left hip next to the pillow that you're using. The pillow is meant to fill up the space here between your hip and your armpit. So when you lie down, you're going to guide your arm into that little gap between the pillow and whatever you're using for your head. Once you get your body in place here, it should feel like your head is at a natural line with your spine. Careful that your head's not dropping off forward or back. It's also quite nice to add an extra weight with the blanket over your legs. Maybe you need it for a little warmth over your feet. Then the top arm is entirely up to you. The position depends on what your top arm wants to do. Some folks find just resting right arm by side is the most comfortable position. You might find that you appreciate having a little extra opening through the side of your body, in which case you could take your right arm up and overhead and just let your hand dangle in the overhead position. Make your right arm feel as comfortable as possible in this position. Same goes for the bottom hip as it's resting on the floor. If your hip is sensitive to the hard ground, put a blanket under there. Make sure that you're in a place where your body feels comfortable enough for you to be still for several minutes. Be particularly attentive to the top arm, especially if you choose to take it overhead. If your arm starts to ache or feel tired, or if you lose feeling in your fingers, then just bring your arm back down in front of you or to your side. Turn your gaze downward or close your eyes altogether. And come back to the feeling of your breath. Inhale and expand breath through the whole of your body. Exhale to soften and settle. Bring your attention back if your mind has wandered off. Come back to notice the feeling of your breath. Take 5 more breaths in this pose. Release any counting of your breath, whether you finished your 5 count or not. Reposition your top arm first. If you did drape it over your ear, move slowly to slide your arm back down by your side. Again, still moving slowly, reposition your arm in front of you so you can use your hand to support you as you come up into a seat. Roll forward as if you're rolling towards your belly to put weight into your right arm. Crawl yourself up into a seated position. Close your eyes as you get into your seat. Take a moment to notice the impact of the pose you've just practiced. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Keeping your gaze soft, blink open your eyes. You just need to switch the props to the other side of your body, or you can keep the props where they are and just roll over to your right side. As you're setting up for the pose, position your pillow so that you can line up the pillow that will take up the space between your hip and your armpit. Position the head support, pillow or blanket and block or whatever props you might be using. And then to come into the pose, slide your arm in the gap between the bolster or the pillow and your head blanket. You might find having that extra layer of warmth over your legs or your feet feels settling and welcome. This side of your body might require something different than the first side. Take a few moments to make yourself as comfortable as you can. Prop up and make sure your head feels supported. Attend to the hips position on the floor. Might be that this hip is sensitive and needs an extra blanket. You can play around with your arm position. Perhaps for this side, your arm prefers to be by your hip or resting in front of you. You're welcome to take your arm up and overhead and let your arm or your hand just dangle overhead. We're cultivating stillness in these postures, but you always have permission to adjust and to move in any way that's needed. Especially if you find that some part of the pose turns into a big stretch or a strain for your body, make an adjustment. Comfort is the priority. Turn your gaze downward or close your eyes if you hadn't done that already. And connect with the feeling of your breath moving in your body. Feel the way that your inhale expands and the way that your exhale causes you to release and to soften. Bring your attention back. If your mind wandered away from your breath, once again, feel your breath moving through your body. Take 5 more breaths in this pose. Release any counting with your breath, whether or not you arrived at your full count. And then to come out of this pose, move your top arm first, especially if you had it overhead. Bring your arm to rest on your side. Then slide your arm in front of you down to your pillow or to the floor so that you can use that top arm to help push you up to a seat. Roll your body forward as if you're heading towards your belly, and then push into the floor to guide yourself back up into seated position. Close your eyes as you get back into your seat. A moment to feel the impact of the pose you just practiced. Take a full breath in. Exhale completely. Keeping your gaze soft. Blink open your eyes. I invite you to position yourself so that you can put your legs onto something. I'm going to use the chair tonight. If you have a chair nearby, you may want to bring the chair onto your yoga mat so that it doesn't feel like it's going to slide when you put some weight on it. Especially if you're using a chair like I am, one that has a pretty flat, firm, hard back. Putting a blanket over top of the chair can just give a softer place for your legs to land. Similarly, you might find that you want a blanket under your head or under your neck or your shoulders, in which case you're welcome to put a blanket. And in fact, you might even find that having the blanket stretched all the way out on your mat will also give you a soft place to land with your hips. If you don't have a chair nearby, you're welcome to put your legs along the wall, up on your couch. You can put them up on the side of your bed. If there's no possible way of putting your legs up on any equipment anywhere nearby, you're welcome to just build up a pile of props so that your legs are going to be elevated up away from the floor. Once you have your props organized in the place that makes sense for you and your body, come to lie down on your back and swing your legs up to the seat of your chair. Position yourself as close as you can to the chair so that your whole calves are well supported by the flat back of the chair, the flat seat of the chair. If you're going up the wall, scoot your hips in as close to the wall as you can get them before you swing your legs up. Another place where you might find that it feels lovely to put that blanket over your legs or even just over your belly and your chest. Make yourself cozy, including the just right amount of support that you might need for your head and your neck. If you're in a position where you can rest your hands on your belly, do that. Or if you prefer to take your arms by your sides, that's okay too. Once you get settled, close your eyes. Bring your attention back into your breath. Feel the expansive quality of your inhale, especially breathing into hands if they're resting on your belly. Feel the way your whole body can soften and settle with your exhalations. Bring your attention back to your breath if your mind had been wandering away. Feel the breath moving in your body. Take 5 more breaths in this pose. let go of your counting, even if you haven't finished all 5 breaths. To come out of this posture, again, move slowly. Bring your knees in towards your chest. Use your hands to hold your legs. Just rock slowly and gently from side to side. Roll your body all the way over to one side. Tuck your chin in and pull your knees in. And still moving slowly, use your hands to push your body up into your seated position. Close your eyes as you get back into your seat. Feel the impact of the pose you just practiced. Inhale deeply. Exhale completely. Keep your gaze soft as you blink open your eyes. I'd like for you to make yourself as comfortable as possible for this last pose. It could be that you're ready to have a more supported posture with your back propped up like a Baddha Konasana. I know sometimes when I don't offer that pose, everyone feels disappointed. So if you'd like to prop yourself up so that you can be semi-reclined, you're welcome to do that. Or if you're ready to just lie down flat on your back, you're perfectly welcome to adjust the props into any position that's going to be as comfortable and supportive for you as possible. Take care to set up so that your whole body will be on something soft. It doesn't have to be lifting you up high, right? Simply unfolding your blanket and opening that out onto your mat, particularly if you're on a hard floor like I am and you don't have carpet under you. Make sure that when you put your blanket out, your arms or hands can rest on something soft. I know many of you like to have some support for under your legs. It's where those pillows could come in handy again. Because you have 2 pillows, you could place 1 pillow on each side for under your knees. If you are lying down on your back, I'd love for you to be in a position where your heels could rest on the floor in a comfortable way. Do make sure that your head has something supportive and soft to rest on. It could be just as simple as folding over one of your blankets. And absolutely make sure that your body is warm. As you cover yourself up, make sure your feet are covered. And make sure the center of your body is covered as well. Once you get down onto your back, or you recline back in whatever posture makes you feel the most settled and comfortable, find a place where you can rest your hands in a comfortable position as well. If it turns out that that comfortable position includes hands on belly, it's a great place for us to reference the breath. Do make lots of space between your legs. Separate them and let your legs roll out to the sides. Close your eyes if you haven't done that already. Pull your attention downward and inward once again. Feel the movement of breath in your body. Feel the rise up and expansion of inhale and the softening and settling that comes with exhale. Bring your attention back. If your mind had wandered away from your breath, Once again, connect with the feeling of your breath moving through your body. Take 5 more breaths in this pose. Let go of your counting and pay closer attention to your body. Notice if there's any way in particular that your body wants to move or be moved. Just as we've been doing for these transitions, start with slow movements first. Test out a few little wiggles to your fingers and your toes. Move at your wrists and your ankles. Bend your knees and your elbows. If you had been using props to support your legs, use your feet to shuffle those props off of your yoga mat. Keep your head down. No disruption for upper body with that movement. Purposefully settle your low back down into the floor. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Rock a little from side to side. Release your legs and extend them out along the floor in front of you. Lift your arms up by your ears and give your whole body this big stretch from your fingers to your toes. Then pull both knees back in towards your chest. Support your legs with your hands and rock a little again from side to side. And slowly make your way over onto your side. Use the support of your hands and your arms to push your body back up into your seated position. Notice if you feel different now than when we began. As you join your palms together, lift them back in front of your heart and connect with the energy of your intention. This gesture is also a gesture of honor and of gratitude for our capacity to breathe, for the postures that can help us adjust our mood and our energy, for the opportunity to practice together even when we can't be in the same room. And above all, it's a gesture of honor and gratitude to the tradition, to the wisdom, and to each other. Everyone, please exhale your breath all the way out. Inhale deeply. With a wish for peace for each of us and for all beings everywhere. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Peace, peace, peace.